Hi, my name is Soroosh,
And I'm Dennis.
and welcome to the Hearts Wide Open podcast.
Yes, and this week is a very exciting week because it's the last week of November, or how we like to call it, Movember.
Yes.
So this is a month where we focus our efforts on raising awareness for men's mental health, and we're actually participating in the official Movember Europe campaign with our very own fundraising campaign. And you still have 2 days before the end of the episode. Not the end of the episode, but you still have 2 days until the end of the month.
Yes. And our campaign.
Exactly. So when you're hearing this episode and it just came out today, then it means you have 2 more days to join our fundraiser, donate to the Hearts Wide Open podcast. Any amount counts, and all the money is going to the Movember Foundation. We have added one extra thing for you because if you donate to our Movember campaign, that means you're automatically entering a raffle if you leave your name behind. And you can win this beautiful Hearts Wide Open t-shirt, and it's a very limited edition. So if you want to have this t-shirt, this is literally the only way you can get it. So donate any amount and participate.
It is interesting. This is our first t-shirt, which I have one. Dennis has one. This is the one I ran the 10K with a few weeks ago.
Yeah, which you remember from the last episode probably.
Yes. Or if you didn't listen to it, please tune back and listen to that episode. It has a lot of interesting stories. And the third one can be you, the winner of this t-shirt. One of my friend who lives in Vienna wanted one of these, but I thought it's still...
Yeah, a friend of mine also asked about it, and I was like, yeah, you can win it. Just donate to our campaign, and you're part of the raffle. But yeah, we're also here today with another episode, and today we have a very interesting topic. Last time we talked about running and Soroosh's journey throughout a run that he participated in, and what that did to him mentally, emotionally, physically, and how his journey has been. And today we want to talk about a topic that's maybe similar, at least there can be some overlap, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
And the topic is expression. So expressing oneself.
So let me start then with this question. And what is expression?
Expression, I think, can be in so many various ways. I think the most obvious one is probably verbal, expressing yourself through talking. And I think expression also is an inherent fundamental aspect of human nature. Like, we've always wanted to express ourselves.
Yeah.
Either by talking, making noises in the Stone Age, I don't know.
Making noises in the Stone Age.
Like, with noises. You know, so animals also communicate with noises.
Yeah. So then, technically, we can define it as the making your thoughts or feelings known to the outside world. Yeah,
because it can be in various different ways, which verbal is one way.
Okay.
So I think we're all doing it in one way or another.
Well, I hope everybody does it.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody is doing it, but maybe we can talk about how you, Dennis, express yourself.
How do I express myself? I think there's so many different ways I express myself, and I don't think I can go through all the ways now.
Recently, or something that comes on top of your mind.
Yeah. I think there are moments when I express myself very consciously, and then other moments where I do it unconsciously.
Yeah.
So, for example, one way to express myself would be if I'm extremely sad and then I start crying, for example, and then I'm expressing myself through crying. But this is something that I cannot always control, I think. The feeling of crying comes, and then I can either allow it to be there and cry, or I can bury it and keep it inside. So the feeling is there, and then I decide, am I gonna express it or not? And then if I allow myself to express it, then I will cry.
Yeah.
And crying will help my body to actually reduce my heart rate again, come down from these emotions. Like, I express it, and then after I feel better. And
okay, so then the way it works is that you feel in a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
For example, being sad or overwhelmed, or then you look for a way to express this feeling.
Yeah, and sometimes it's already there, like crying.
Yeah.
But sometimes I also feel like, okay, I have something inside me and I don't know how to get it out. So,
Yeah.
or maybe I do know, but so for example, the other day I was not really happy, but I felt happy inside me. Like my happiness was kind of locked inside me and I couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
So I was like feeling negative emotions because of this, but I had the positive emotions inside me or feelings, but I didn't know how to tap into them.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I did is I know that, for example, dancing really helps me to get that out.
Okay.
And so I put on some music and I just started jumping.
Yeah.
And then as I started jumping more and more, at some point I started feeling the music, and then I was doing like a freestyle dance.
Yeah.
And that helped me express my happiness
Okay.
that I had like locked inside me.
Okay, and so let me go back to you said there was a moment that you felt happy, but also trapped inside that.
Yeah,
I feel like I have to do something with this happiness.
Yeah, it was just like it was a day. It was raining all day long, and I went from one thing to the next thing. Yeah, I was just, let's say, drifting through my day, and I didn't really feel like in charge or like I'm on top of things. I was just generally not feeling very well.
Okay.
But I had the desire inside me to feel well, and I felt that I'm actually have nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
So like, and the like taking myself, turning on music and moving helped me to get that out.
Okay.
And then express myself in that way.
Okay. Interesting.
But yeah, what like, do you also have ways, like I just talked about crying and dancing, but what are some ways that you express yourself that come to mind? Are they the same or different?
For me, it really depends. I do have some ways to express myself. It depends on the emotion that I'm feeling and what is, for example, on that day, like the state of mind, what state of mind I'm in. Sometimes when I feel sad or lonely, but then I feel like I have to express myself. It's not that I have to. Sometimes I just sing like a sad song by myself. I put a sad song on and I sing it out loud, and it makes me feel better afterward. Like, this is very interesting. When I tell this to my friends, they find it weird, but singing, even if it's sad, it makes me happy. Or like hearing it.
Like, because you specifically mentioned sad songs, is it then that you're basically really feeling the sadness of the song and the lyrics, and maybe you want to feel it, express yourself, feel it, and then because you felt it afterwards, you feel happy or better?
I'm not sure if it's about the lyric necessarily.
It's a general feeling of the song.
Maybe it's the singing part that, because when I sing, it really is from the bottom of my heart. Like when you sing, they say, do not sing from here, sing from your stomach. And then when I sing, it's like the pure expression of letting it out and letting it be there. And I don't care if my neighbor hear it, or if somebody or when I'm biking. Or when I'm biking to work and I'm listening to something that I really like on the street, I'm just singing it.
Do you have a song that comes to mind right now?
I do have a song that comes up to my mind.
Do
you
want to give us a sneak peek?
I forgot the name of the artist. Or there's one song, there's one Persian song that
give it a go, man. I would love to hear it actually.
Whenever I'm happy, well, not whenever, but sometimes when I'm happy, I listen to that one. It's from also a very old singer, like from my parents' time.
Yeah, so for the ones that don't know, like especially in Iranian music, I think it's very emotional and a lot of times also very sad.
This is happy.
Like I would, like the lyrics, like I would kill myself just to be born again and be with you again, and like
Also,
these type of things, you know.
Sometimes it's very dramatic and also beautiful.
So it helps like also actually processing those type of emotions, no?
It does, but this one for me is a happy song from Nusha Farin. There's like تا میگی سلام فقط با یک کلام دیوونه میشم جز تو نمیبینه چشام. Yeah, I'm not gonna sing more. Or I know a lot of sad song from Adele. That's like my go-to sad song when we were young, or songs like that.
I think a lot of people can relate.
Yeah, I love it. Like the fact that sitting with a bunch of my friends and singing for me is a pure joy of expression. Or if I'm in a club and I can sing the song, I don't need anything else. You can just leave me and I'm happy eternally, even if it's a sad song.
Beautiful, especially like that music also plays such a big role in your life.
It is. I think it's one of the biggest way that I express myself with, especially singing, the kind of music I listen to. But there are much more ways, I think.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about this topic of this podcast about expression and self-expression before we come here. And then I was thinking, from the moment that we wake up, through the actions that we choose, we start expressing ourselves. You know, from the moment that you wake up, you go brush your teeth. Maybe if I choose to give myself a smile in the mirror, that's a way of today is going to be a good day.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I journal and then I write on top of the journal, today is going to be a great day. Or then you open your social media, the post you choose to see, the post you chose to like, the way you choose to dress, for me, for example, is a way I really like to express myself.
Yeah, I would actually maybe put the social media as part a bit on the side, because I think that's a very, like, let's say, lower form of expressing yourself, because it's just content that you get fed and then you it's a short-term thing of expression. You know?
Yes, it gets fed to you.
I think the lifetime is also different, because when I see something funny on social media, I share it with you.
Yeah,
it's immediately gone. Like there was a moment of, oh, cool, funny, but then immediately gone. So I feel like the expression part is maybe way smaller in comparison to
maybe
singing.
It is smaller. Okay, fair, I agree. Because some part of it comes from the outside world that you just see, and some of the recommendation is based on what you have chosen before. Yeah. So this is, if I'm in fashion, I get a lot of fashion videos or pictures.
I would compare that to, for example, I see you crying and that makes me cry. You know, I would maybe it's something like that, because it's with the outside effects.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. But so many different ways to express ourselves.
Yeah. There's so many different ways.
I also like.
Do you have a?
Yeah. Back to running and to the previous episode. Maybe. I just thought about small ways of expressing myself, and one of them, like, I'm also running now. This month I plan to run 60 kilometers. And as I am running, I'm doing different types of runs. So sometimes I'm just going very slow but further, or just short distance and really fast. And then sometimes with music, sometimes with podcasts, sometimes with the sound of nature. And what I've started doing now is, as well, when I have a feeling that comes during the run. So for example, if I'm listening to music and a really happy song comes on and I really like that song, I might change the way I run, like do little jumps, you know, to the beat. Or
true.
I start smiling at people, at the sun. Maybe it gives me more sensitivity towards my environment, and I can really see and feel the nature around me more. And I think all that helps with expression as well, because expression is when you're making your, what was it? Feelings,
or
beliefs,
thoughts known,
emotions known to others or yourself. Yeah.
But then, because I was thinking maybe we are good. These are the ways that we are good at expressing ourselves.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I have one as well where I'm not that good.
Yeah, because before the podcast we were talking about this self-expression, how we express ourselves. And we were talking about the good stuff. And now, as you were talking, first I was thinking that, first of all, maybe I wouldn't have done this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because expressing myself wasn't accepted from the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
But even, so this is maybe something that we come back to, that why some people cannot express themselves.
Yeah.
But before that, what is something you're not good at expressing?
I think I'm still...
Why do you think that is?
Like, let's say I'm very good at expressing... No, wait a second. I need to think about this a bit more.
Sure.
Yeah. I think I'm... So, for example, the other day, Soroosh and I met up and we were actually going to record this episode, which we're now recording a couple days later. But we sat down and there was just this feeling of, I don't know, discontent in the air. Like, you were not really ready to record. I wasn't feeling the energy. There was something in the room and you could feel it. And we could have just ignored it and started recording and then serve you an episode. But instead, like after a while of bitching at each other a little bit and like being, just I think expressing ourselves in
I would say expressing
ways. Yeah. But more in the way of like I was blaming you for stuff. You were blaming me back for stuff. So that's how we were expressing ourselves. It's very simplified right now, but yeah, by
bitching as a way of expression.
Yeah,
that was what was happening.
Yeah, so I was expressing my discontent by bitching about stuff, and then Soroosh was doing the same, and this didn't really lead to something because I think we didn't do it from a place of love or from our heart, but just from feeling negative, you know. So we're putting more negative emotion out, and then I think after a while we actually sat down, looked at each other and said, okay, let's talk about what's actually going on, you know. And then you open up about some topics that were on your mind, that you're having a tough week, you're really stressed about some topics, and I was expressing that I feel like pressure and I feel like other emotions linked to that, like I don't know, just like that we're not able to actually create a momentum that day to have a nice episode, etc.
But for me, you know, I know we were bitching, both of us, but for me this wasn't going anywhere because I felt like I am trying to express myself to you.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to tell Dennis, this is why I'm stressed and this is why, for example, maybe I'm not ready to record one episode.
But you did it in very indirect ways, no? Or like I didn't know actually.
Maybe not indirectly, yeah, because I didn't give you the background of why I don't want to and stuff like that. But I felt like my expression is not being heard.
Yeah, exactly. Because I couldn't catch it. I was
I know. Because you were, and then this comes.
Because I was also expressing myself and maybe not so much looking at how you are expressing yourself. And
exactly. So I felt like I'm expressing myself, but you're on the defense side for you. Which ends up to attacking me. Yeah. That's, I'm like, yeah, but I feel stressed and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yeah, but if you have done that and that. And I felt like I am trying to express myself to this person, but he's not listening to me. And probably you the same. You were like, I'm trying to tell him why we should, or why is this better, but he's not listening. And it was the moment that I think we took a pause. Yeah. And just say, hey, let's give each other space. Yeah. Just hear me out. You don't have to say anything. Just let me plot to you. Just put it on the table. Why am I feeling this way? Listen the whole story. And then maybe we can talk about it before giving advice or actions.
Yeah, and I think this is actually a more complicated example because we both were expressing ourselves. Yeah. But imagine if we were, let's say, in a team meeting, there was also other people. Yeah. And then I am the one person who is like not happy with something. and everyone else is like going in the one direction.
Yeah.
But if I now don't express myself, or I don't make my feelings and thoughts known to the others, then what happens is in a work situation or in a team environment, they would probably move on without me, or like without actually listening to my needs and thoughts, because I didn't make them known. They don't know
This
that
is interesting.
that I'm not expressing myself, so we move on, and I'm still sitting there. And I think now we're also going direction. Another topic we wanted to talk about: what happens when you can express yourself, or when you express yourself, and what happens if you don't. So if I would have expressed myself in this situation with a team that I'm not 100% on the same page, then we could have had a conversation right then and there, align, and move on together. But now if I decide I'm not going to express myself because I don't feel comfortable, I have to speak up in order to do that, then the risk is that no one knows what's going on inside me, and they move on without me. And then later on, a few weeks later, I question everything because I wasn't happy with the first step because I didn't express myself.
Is that how you would feel if this is the example that is actually happening? You're in a team, they're discussing something, and you really have an opinion on that topic, but you don't express it. How would you feel? First of all, let me say, why wouldn't you express it? What would you say?
This can have different reasons. Maybe I'm scared. What will be the reaction?
Okay.
Or I feel like everyone else is on the same page, so maybe
you're the weird one.
I'm the weird one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's just two ways. I think a lot of it is also me reading the room. Like maybe I have the feeling that it's not welcome or something like that.
Yeah. Sometimes I have that.
And it's that's stuff in my head. Like, we don't know until we know.
That is true. I think it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
This also has happened to me, and sometimes I feel like I give my opinion once or twice, but if it's not heard, I don't try for the third time. Like I feel like then I feel I'm not welcome.
Yeah, but that's a good thing, no? I mean, that's natural. If you realize you're in the wrong company because this environment doesn't let you express yourself, maybe you should look for another one. Yeah,
well, it's not necessarily company. So this also has happened, for example, in friend groups.
No, I mean in company of people.
In company of people, okay. But this literally also happened to me in friend groups. That I'm sitting down with my friends, and they're doing something that I don't feel like this is the way I want to express myself.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know, they go out party every other day, and I feel like this is not what I want to do. So I feel the weirdo. I feel like I'm the weirdo. And then for me, I feel detached after a while. I'm not a part of this friend group anymore.
You're explaining an example where you are expressing a feeling that you don't actually have. So your friend group wants to go dancing to express how amazing they feel about the fact that they had a good work week, let's say. Yeah. But you don't feel a reason to express yourself through dance right now?
No, maybe.
But you still go and you do it. So what is, imagine you're still going even though you didn't feel like it. What does that do to you? Like, how do you feel?
So doing something even though I didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
I have done that a lot. For me, it depends. Like, if I see it if I see a greater reason, then I will still do it, because I say this
is my best friend's birthday. Like,
yeah. I have been in places I didn't feel like it that night. But I felt like I need to be there for that person or that group.
Yeah.
So then I do it because I tell myself the pain is momentarily, but look at the long run. But if this continuously happen a few times, then I feel honestly quite depressed, because I was talking with someone a few years ago, and she was telling me that one of the reasons for depression, one of the biggest ones, is the fact that you can suppress your feelings and emotion, putting everybody else in front of you. You think your needs do not matter. Why do I want to express myself? And then she was telling me, if you do this continuously, you kind of stop giving yourself respect. You feel like you are not allowed to take any space in the world, and you just become like a toy for everybody else. And this is how, like, a beginning of a depression cycle.
You basically constantly cross your own boundaries.
Yes.
And by normalizing that, you start becoming something that's not you. And that leads to depression.
Yeah.
And then you cannot find the right group of people to express yourself because what you're expressing is not you.
No.
And then you feel super lonely because you don't feel like it's your place. You're in the wrong place.
But this is also interesting.
I've been there.
No, me too. This feeling of loneliness that I felt with the friend groups especially. I felt like, last year, 2 years ago, I could express myself in that group because we were having the same activities and everything was just fine. But I feel like I moved on from certain things. And I felt like I rather express myself, I don't know, on a day out with you or on a day out with a friend going to a museum rather than going every night out. And then I was listening to another podcast which was saying this is natural that you're going to feel alone in these times because it's not about you. It's that you haven't found the new friend group that is the best one for you.
Yeah.
So you just have to accept it.
I think a lot of times we also feel like this when we go to a new place.
Also,
like moving in a new country, new environment, where we build a new set of friends maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really interesting. Not expressing ourselves can lead to feelings of loneliness.
I think so.
Being in the wrong place and eventually even depression. I think burnout was also one of the things that it can lead to if you're not expressing yourself authentically over a long period of time.
I think so.
So there's a lot of risk. I mean, and in general, I feel like when I keep something inside and I don't let it out, it will, if it's important to me, it will become bigger and bigger and it will like start hurting and it's painful.
I have the same thing.
Like mentally painful, and it's like it doesn't want to leave my head. I dream about it. Like it's showing itself in so many ways that it wants out. And for me, I've just started expressing myself more and more if I have this type of feeling. And then I think the more you express yourself and like also with a bit of curiosity, look at different ways of expressing yourself. I think you can just be much more happy and make sure that you let those things out. No pressure builds up.
Now that you said that, I remembered something that I read in a book. It was about a psychologist that was saying that the definition of happiness is through authentic expression, authentic self-expression. That this is what happiness is. And this sentence rings in my brain almost every morning and I wake up. It's like, just think about it honestly. If you could express authentically however you feel through your day-to-day life, to everyone you meet, to yourself, that if it's time to move on from something, just accept it that it's time to move on from something. I really think you're utterly happy. I do think that. I do know myself in a way. I know myself. There are some ways I'm not good at expressing myself.
Yeah?
There is.
Like, do you have an example? Like what?
One example that I can give is I'm a curious person. But when I sit in the bus, like from the bottom of my heart, I want to talk to the next person. Like this is just...
Well, you don't do it because you keep it in, or?
I don't do it because of a lot of reason. But the first thing is like, why doesn't he or she wants to talk to me?
Fear of rejection.
Why? What if they say no?
Yeah.
Next one. What should I say?
Yeah.
That is interesting. Why should it be interesting?
Too many questions.
Yeah, but this is how it is, and I know but I also have the curiosity. I wanted to know, where are you coming from? If we are in a train, where are you going? What did you have for lunch?
Yeah.
what is your favorite animal? Give me a music recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Once I did it with a stranger in Utrecht, and it was interesting. This guy actually was a writer.
Okay.
So we also ended up having an interesting conversation. And I felt such a joy that day. I felt like it and I expressed myself.
Boom. I now remember a moment. I was in Hamburg in a metro and I was sitting opposite of this older lady and she had a plastic bag with like a it was a very beautiful plastic bag with do you know those Dutch tiles?
Oh yeah. The
with
Delft's Blauw tiles.
Yeah, those
The white and blue ones.
those specific tiles from Delft, and it looked like such a beautiful plastic bag, and I wanted to tell the woman, but I didn't because I don't know. I was just stuck inside.
Exactly.
Fuck, I could have made her day, you know? Like I could have made a nice compliment, make her happy, make myself happy. I don't think she would have rejected it. I mean, why? And
yeah, but we still don't do it.
yeah, I think that's also the thing. Like, also something to realize again. Like, there's no black and white here. Like, fully expressing yourself, not at all. It's always on a spectrum. And sometimes we are able to do it better than other times. Also, how we feel in that moment, maybe. I think I had a lot of stuff going on in my head, so I was overcomplicating in that moment. But yeah, in general, I think, I mean, we talked about what can happen if you don't express yourself authentically, or if you don't express yourself at all. But there's also a lot of positives to expressing yourself.
Yeah.
I think if you do express yourself, it helps your communication with the outside world, with other people. Other people can better understand you. You can collaborate better with others because they know your feelings, your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, their decisions. It helps you with your own personal growth, I think, because you reflect more through expressing yourself. So you also reflect on your thoughts, beliefs, actions, etc., feelings. And then that can help you with your personal growth or looking at the areas that you want to grow in. And,
but I have a question now that you said that regarding personal growth.
Yeah.
So I know a part of expression was to express your thoughts and feeling to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, how would you express you to yourself?
I think this...
Or does it come naturally to you?
Yeah, I think for me it's both expression, because I think I express myself to... I just express myself. Not to someone or to myself. I just express.
You told me. Well, the example with the dancing, maybe it was for you. You don't express that to other people.
Yeah, no.
That you felt happy and you started dancing.
This one is fine, but this is interesting because I have another thing similar to you that I really love doing, but I don't dare. At least not to others. And it used to be also like this with the dancing, that I didn't like dancing in front of others. And now I'm like, I've done it more and more and realized it's a powerful tool for expressing myself. And now I manage even to also dance in front of others. But that's also already personal growth for me, because I started doing it by myself with my eyes closed, blindfolded. And now I'm able to go to ecstatic dances where you dance with hundreds of people sober and no one cares, you know?
Yeah, I think...
but it's a step. And then
it's a step.
The other activity is singing. I love to sing, but when I was in high school, really young, I was maybe 12 or something, my music teacher told me that I'm not good enough for the choir, basically. And this is a belief in my head that I still carry with me, that I cannot sing. And I loved to sing before that. And then with that at that time, I just stopped singing altogether, and I never dared to pick it up again. And now, only at 31 years old, so many years later, like almost 20 years later, I realized that, fuck that teacher. Like, it's not his place to tell me if I can sing or if I cannot sing. Singing is also something that you learn. I think the more you do it, the better you can become. So if I stop at 12 and I don't sing until 31, obviously I didn't get any better in that time. But now I'm slowly expanding this, and I went to a workshop with vocal activation over summer. Yeah, in one of the retreats.
I
went
did
to.
not know.
No, I think I told you. One of the
Okay.
retreats we did like to sing together with a bunch of people in the workshop. Now I sing sometimes on the shower. I do lip sync when I'm biking sometimes.
It's quite annoying.
I'm
kidding.
Yeah, because you can hear my lip sync. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm now trying to do something similar. What I did with the dancing, I'm trying to do that with the singing as well. But I'm still not there. Like I don't dare to sing in front of people. Like I'm super. I found it super cool that you just sang to us at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. That's not my best voice, by the way. I can sing.
It's
better
so
than
beautiful when Soroosh sings. And
thank you.
one of the things on my bucket list, and a friend of mine, Mara, actually still wants to go. So Mara, if you hear this,
Where class? I also want to.
No,
go.
I want to do a karaoke night with some people.
Okay.
And just to put myself out there a bit more.
I thought you want to go to professional singing class.
But I never did karaoke because I was scared.
Okay. Tonight is the night.
Oh, let's see. Let's see.
I have a few more things to talk about. One of them is quite deep, so I don't know if we talk about this episode. Maybe we can drag it to another one. But so one of the things I think expression is good. So this is trying to bottom line it.
In general, I think you can say it's a positive trait.
Yes.
I think you can also overdo it by always expressing yourself. And for example, what happened to us, being so focused on expressing yourself that you don't have the capacity to listen to the other anymore when they're expressing themselves.
You have to also let other people to express themselves.
Yeah.
And from the question I ask you, how do you express yourself to you?
Mm-hmm.
Something that I do sometimes is journaling. That I just write down my thoughts. And it's like I'm talking to another person that is in front of me. And I write down the thought that this person is going through.
Yeah.
And I remember, I can talk about it a little bit. But a few years ago, I was maybe sometimes afraid of my own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever had that feeling. Or that you don't like your thoughts.
Do you have an example of thoughts that you didn't like?
Yeah, but I prefer not to say.
Okay.
But you have a thought or a belief that maybe, I don't know, came with you from your childhood.
Yeah.
And this is now something you truly want. It's like
I can give you one, like people pleasing, for example, to say yes to things.
To say yes to things.
Like all the time saying yes because that's how you grew up.
Yeah.
When you say yes, you are a good boy. You're like a good son. You know, we're proud of you if you say yes.
Exactly. So now, this thing comes to you as an adult, and now you do it a lot, and it makes you happy, huh? Sometimes it does make you happy.
Yeah.
But in your thoughts, when you're writing it down, you also know maybe it is wrong.
You realize, I'm actually taking care of everyone else around me.
Yeah.
But
so
maybe
not
so much.
It's like a self-conflict. I don't know how to describe it. That I know something makes me happy, but it's also not. Shouldn't be. But then question becomes according to who. If it makes you happy, should I necessarily do it? So these are the conflicting thoughts I have. That's why I said it's a deeper topic. So I don't know if it's really in this episode.
It sounds like the journaling helps you express yourself,
It does.
but also look at yourself from another perspective, like kind of an outside perspective.
Yeah. So sometimes it does cause some self-conflict.
Yeah.
That I have, which is an interesting topic for another episode.
Yeah, because what we said, like you're expressing yourself on paper now in writing, and when you look at the things you write down, and when you whilst you're writing them down, that's when you're reflecting on yourself and you realize this is who I am. I am Soroosh with these thoughts right now, with these feelings right now. And if you don't want to have these thoughts or these feelings, then you end up with a conflict like you described, right?
Yeah.
I think this is a Indeed, very interesting, man.
It is interesting.
That's so cool because you're reflecting, you're realizing who you are, and then you can grow. You know?
That's how that's how I do it. I don't know.
That's amazing.
And something else I wanted to talk about the why don't we sometimes express ourselves? I think this is also good for me. Sometimes if you don't write it down, you get stuck in the question why I cannot do that, why I cannot do that. You know, for example, with the stranger on the train, I go there, I want to, I don't do it, and then it kind of feels bad, and then the question becomes, why can I do that? This becomes for me a repetitive question inside of me. But then actually sit down one day, write it down. That what goes through your mind from the time that you see someone, you'd want to tell them something, give them a compliment. What is the next thing that comes to your brain? And then why? What is blocking you to express that emotion? Is it the fear of rejection? Is it that the confidence? What is it?
Yeah. And I think
then that becomes a good point for self-improvement.
Yeah.
That is.
I mean, this is also what therapy is in a way about, because you're looking at the root of your feelings and thoughts you're reflecting. So it's also kind of it's a bit therapeutic exercise.
It is. That's where I learned it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That was my point.
Yeah. So super cool, man. It's such a big topic, and I think we could do easily another episode on this.
Yeah. So. Now I also started a train of thoughts in my brain, so I also have a lot to talk about. But I think this is good enough for this episode. We don't want to drag it too long. But if you find it interesting, please send us a message, leave us a comment, and we can always come back to this topic with more.
Yeah, and let us know how you are expressing yourself. What are your favorite ways of expressing yourself? Maybe what are some ways you're not able to express yourself yet, like my singing or dancing, the journey I've been through. And we invite you for this week to think about, in these moments when you can express yourself, think about, why am I not doing it? And maybe you can express yourself this week a little bit more, because as we learn, expressing yourself can lead to better communication, knowing yourself better, in general being more happy and connected with yourself and others. And if you don't express yourself, it can lead you to feel more lonely and less understood. So our invitation to look at the situations this week in a way, can I express myself better here? Share your thoughts under this episode on Spotify, or send us a message on Instagram. And talking of expressing ourselves, I want to express one last time to head over to our website and find the Movember campaign. Link is also in the episode description, and contribute to our Movember campaign for men's mental health this November, and you can win this beautiful t-shirt. And that's been it. Yeah. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yes. See you later.
Bye-bye.